Hey, everybody. It's Maria from What's the Story with Maria. How's it going? Welcome to our show. Tonight is Tuesday, November 14th. Leo, hit that promo.
Yeah, I'm a big fish in a small pond. Day's free and my night's long. I create my own reality. Who I am is fine with me. I'm as famous, I'm as famous as I wanna be. Who I am is fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am. Oh, who I am. It's fine with me. It's who I am. It's who I am.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our show. We're so glad you're here. We have a special guest tonight, and just in time as we are starting to come up on the holiday season. Oh, my favorite time of year. So, next week, of course, is Thanksgiving, and the shopping season begins. So we want to get you ready for that. And we have a wonderful guest joining us tonight that is an artist and has beautiful, beautiful stuff. So we'll talk about that when we do her on. Her name is Roberta Pacino. She's lovely and talented. And she's going to tell us all about her stuff. And I can't wait. I'm a big fan of her artwork, and she has some really cool products on Etsy and her website. So we'll tell you all about that. Let's see who we have first. Let's acknowledge our guests. Danielle from D's Enlightened Edits has joined us. Happy What's the Story with Maria. Happy Tuesday, Maria and Leo. Hi, Danielle. Danielle is our friend. She is a spiritual medium, a healer, a teacher. She does spirit animal readings. She does quantum sessions. You want to talk to the other side. You want to talk to D. D's your girl. And dream interpretation, past life regression, so many cool things. Alana Diaz has joined us. Alana, how are you, my friend? Hello from Stonewall. Alana is a kick-ass singer. A brassy broad. I would put her under the brassy broad category. Mario Davila, my love. Mario was Mr. June in her 2022 calendar, I believe. Yeah, 2022 calendar. You will always be my Mr. June, Mario. You know that. Mario says hello from Texas. Mario is in Texas. Give your parents our love. We miss you, Mario. I miss you already, as you know, as I text you. And Danielle is sending all kinds of prayers and all kinds of fun stuff. So Brassy Broad, that's right, my new stage name. Alana, our Cuban representative. Long time no see, honey. I miss you too. Good to see you. I think Alana is working at Brandy's on Thursday, Thanksgiving, as a matter of fact. She's working for Lauren. So if you're in the city on Thanksgiving and you're looking for something fun to do after you have your meal, or you're sick of your family, which often happens, or whatever, go ahead, Leo. You're going to say something. I was going to say,
Okay, Alana go boom, and also hello, Weather Girl, and big hugs for my Alana as well because I know she had a big heart movement this past couple of weeks.
okay, and we are. So Alana is at Brandy's on Thursday. This Thursday, coming up for Thanksgiving. Please go see Alana, and I think it's Bobby on the bar, and probably Will Tian Hall on the piano. It's going to be such a fun night. And if you're looking for something fun to do on Thanksgiving, that's where you should go.
Are
Rena,
you still doing art night
you
before
know,
Thanksgiving?
I used to do arts and crafts before Thanksgiving when I worked Monday nights at the duplex, but I don't, because, and then we would put all the pictures up. It was so much fun. But I haven't done that in a few years now. And I work Mondays at Stonewall. So that's a whole different vibe. And this week, but I am working. If you're in town Wednesday night, the night before Thanksgiving, I am working at the duplex. And that is a like wall to wall people night, fun, because a lot of people come in for the next, their family comes in and they want something fun to do with them before Thanksgiving. Please come and see me at the duplex. That's going to be really, really fun.
You have that little march or something on Thanksgiving in New York, don't you? That
Yeah,
people go there for it.
that little
That
parade
little
with
thing,
all the
yeah.
balloons. You know what else is fun to do the night before Thanksgiving? It's a little now. It's like the word is out, so it gets a little crowded. But if you can't make it to the parade, the Macy's Day Parade, which is amazing, by the way. Of course, you can watch it on TV. But the night before, you can go and on the Upper West Side, like around between I think 77th and 81st Streets, they blow
Mhm.
up all the balloons right before Central Park West. So, get off at one of those stops. I'd take the one train to 79th and then walk east, and you will see all the balloons. It's mind blowing. It's just incredible how big these balloons are, and you get to see them up close, and you can take pictures, and it's
I
really like such a New York thing to do.
I feel sorry for the guys that have to blow them up. I mean, sitting there the whole time.
Oh, stop it.
I mean, the big underdog. How do they? Oh my God, that's a lot of
Please
air.
stop it right now. Eddie Kutu has joined in. Hello, Eddie from Connecticut. Eddie runs Blade Salon in Rocky Hill. If you need to get your hair did, go see Eddie. Eddie is my high school buddy. Brassy Broad would be a great one-woman
Oh, would
show.
be.
Yes, it would be. Alana, write that down.
Oh, I thought she was talking about for me.
Leo.
I can do
But
Brassy Broad.
do tell us about your show coming up this weekend.
Oh, I do have a show, don't I? I do have a show this time around. Woohoo! Fireside Cabaret. We're starting on this Friday. Actually, it's just a one-show event. Here up in Idyllwild, up on my mountain. Um, there's about 3,000 people up here that all say it's their mountain. It's all my mountain. Um, we have spent 12 weeks cultivating their songs and their stories to go along with the songs. And we had our rehearsal last night. As soon as we're done here tonight, I have to head back to town halls because we've got another
No,
rehearsal.
really?
Oh
Wow.
yeah, I got to work them. I got to make sure that we're up to par.
That's great, honey. That's wonderful.
And then we have one more dress rehearsal, and then we're off Thursday, and then we perform on Friday night.
That is fantastic. That is fantastic. You're bringing Cabaret to Idyllwild, California. And so this is not just the kids. You work with the kids, but these are the adults. So that's
Yep, these are
wonderful.
senior citizens, and hopefully it's the first in a long series that I get to do with Great American Songbook and stories and just other. We were talking about it the other day. We could so many genres: the '60s, the '70s, the '80s, love songs, power ballads. There's so many things to explore to put our stories to,
Yeah.
and help
I,
other people who are listening.
well, the thing, and they talk about this all the time. Music is so powerful, so powerful. Like it evokes memory. Even they say patients that have Alzheimer's remember every word to songs. It's just one of those phenomenons.
We
And
talked about that in our studies in talking about like what music does. We were remembering that commercial. There's one, "Only Have Eyes," and it's an older woman dancing with her husband, and
yeah,
then and they go into memory about what she was doing in high school, and
yeah,
then the music stops, and you can see her face. Reminds me of my grandpa when he looked confused during his Alzheimer's dementia time, and then he plays the music again, and the comfort on her face, and
yeah,
they're
yeah.
using that in senior citizens' homes and stuff to help
I
people.
believe it. I believe it. I mean, I used to do a lot of volunteer work with a group called Vocal Ease. That
Mhm.
they go into different nursing homes over the years. They get singers, all kinds of singers, to go in and help out. And I was one of people on the roster that would go in, and just their faces and it's just so comforting and beautiful. I love it. I
Music
love
is
it.
magic.
Yeah, it really is. Okay, so we're going to bring our first guest on. I mean, our only guest on tonight, but in a minute. But let's talk quickly about our. We have something very cool happening in a few days, don't we, Leo?
Toot, 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 toot. Ah!
The Nothing But the Apron 2024 calendar. You are not ready for what's about to happen with this calendar. Oh my God. So if you don't know about this calendar, what it is everybody that's in the calendar wears nothing but our apron. We have a show apron, a blue apron, and people wear just the apron in whatever way they wanted to showcase that they did. And we
Kind of
have,
like this?
oh, like our November from this year's calendar. We have John and Lori, our friends, our Scorpio friend. They are journalists, they are DJs, they are music historians. They are, John is the head of the local 802 in New York City, and they so graciously volunteered to be Mr. and Mrs. November of this year. So in our 2023 calendar, there they are. They're also, she plays the bass, he plays the drums, and they do enjoy a cocktail. I know because I have been their bartender from time to time. So there they are with all their favorite bourbons. And I think the art direction in this photo is wonderful.
I think so. I love the larceny. I mean, that's just some classy bourbon right there. That's
Right?
some classy bourbon.
You know when I learned about bourbons? When I managed Mess Hall in Harlem.
Mm.
That's a bourbon bar. So we had over 50 bourbons. There's a lot, there's more bourbons than you think of. So fellow Scorpions, now Rena Crugnali Bergi, my cousin.
Weather girl.
Rena's birthday is, wait, is it in 2 days, right, Rena? The 16th, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So Rena is going to be 29. Congratulations, Rena, fellow Scorpions. Yes, it is Scorpio season. And Lynn Portis, genius, is a Scorpio. Her birthday's coming up next Tuesday. And next Tuesday, we have a great guest. I'll tell you all. I think I did tell you about it, but he's a wonderful guy. Okay. We don't want to waste too much more time. We have told you about all the stuff we have going on. And speaking of cousins, how did I meet our next guest? Our friend Catherine Salvio, who is our mutual friend of ours, introduced
My love.
to her cousin a few years ago, Roberta. And Roberta is just lovely. And I thought, what a nice person, all that. But did I know she was an artist? No. And then I found out about R. Pacino artworks. And I said, Roberta, we have to have you on before the holidays start. And she very graciously said she would join us. And she also has aprons, but she has a million other things. Should we zoom her in, Leo?
I think it's time.
It is time. The time has come from Roberta Pacino.
Do, 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 do,
Let's
do.
bring her on. Yay! Hi, Roberta.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm enjoying listening to you guys.
Well, we can talk we're chiacchieronas, as the Italians say.
I was thinking about Idyllwild because when I was 11 years old, I went to camp in Idyllwild.
Did you go to the Idyllwild Arts, or did you come for a Girl Scout camp, or
I don't know. I was only 11.
Astro Camp as well?
Went once, but you know.
Roberta, did you grow up in California?
Yeah, I was born in New York, but I was raised in California from the time I was 3.5.
Oh, okay. I thought you were a New Yorker and then moved out to California.
Well, it's like my cousin Kathy says, it's my birthright to be a New Yorker.
Yeah.
I'm a New Yorker, but yeah, I'm a California girl too.
Yeah, I love California. Is besides New York, is my favorite state. I just love it. I've been there. I haven't been there as much as I'd like to be there, but I just love it. There's something about when I go out there, my blood pressure goes down. It's just I can breathe.
There's a certain feeling there that's nowhere else.
Nowhere else. I agree. I totally agree. And I grew up in Massachusetts, which is also beautiful in its own way. But there's something about California that's really cool. Now, okay, so your artwork is very specific, I would say. It's very specific. Like I guess you would put it in the whimsical category. Does that you think that describes it? It's fun. It's fun. It's vibrant and it's fun. And yet I'm like, what's going on there? You know, what was she thinking when she created these pieces? Now, the particular pieces that you have on your website, there's a lot of different stuff, but you really focus a lot on these animals, these almost cartoon-like animals, right?
Yes.
So why don't you tell us, how did you come up with, Leo, maybe you can show some of them a little closer up.
Let's see. I don't really even know where it came from. It just comes So the first one I did was the one of the horse and the rabbit with the carrot.
Okay.
I don't know if you have that.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Leo will pull that up in
single
a minute.
carrot is what I called it. And that one, I was inspired by a quote from Paul Cézanne, the artist, which
Okay.
was, I got to try to remember this quote. A quote. The day will come when a fresh look at a single carrot will set off a revolution. And I thought, I'm going to paint the carrot. The animals, they came to dinner and they just kind of, it's almost like they appear to me. I mean, I don't want to sound
No,
like
but that's why I asked.
way out there, but they just listen. I'm painting this horse, and he looks to me. He was like almost like the guru, and that was the student, the chela or whatever. And I put my thing off, turn my phone off.
These are so okay. So this is the one that you're talking about. So first of all, the cover, I mean, the colors I love. You see, it just pops out. You have that beautiful deep red, that blue green in the background. But look at the way that the rabbit has their arms crossed. I love this. It's so fun. It makes me smile. So
yeah, I mean, they're almost a surprise to me. Like I said, So that's
you saw this in your head. You see this in your head, and then you just draw it.
Yes, I guess that's what you would say. I did because I was going through my sketchbook. That's how I remember a little bit about how I started it. But I was sketching the rabbit. There was somebody else was going to be at that table in the middle there, because I have sketches of the horse and the rabbit and some other animal. I forget what it was, but he didn't show up. It's just the horse and the rabbit. And anyway, that was the story with that. That had a really definite focus, because it's the single carrot, and I named it single carrot. It's the carrot that's gonna set off a revolution. Just wait and see.
I love it.
After I die, and then people will go, oh, now we see.
Now we see it. And but you have like a whole animal series. So I'm looking at, I love the polar bear. There's something so beautiful about that polar bear. He's so regal, and he's so there's like the way that you captured, Leo, if you could pull up that polar bear, that would be amazing. The way that you captured the thought in his eyes, it's like just mind blowing. This is one of so there you go. So this is a polar bear and an otter?
A harp seal. It's a seal. I know. It looks like a seal, but you have to see a seal that way first.
Okay, they are having dinner as well. They're having
dinner, and they're eating an Arctic char. That's what it is. And that they both feed on that fish.
Wow.
But they're not really friends in nature, but they came together over this meal.
But you know what I love about it? Now, if we were really watching in the wild, there's no civility to the way they eat. This is very civilized.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's mind-blowing. And this, I love this so much, this polar bear. I mean, look at the eyes. To me, he's so sweet. That's like my favorite one. I don't know why it speaks to me.
He's cuddly. I wanted to order. I have blankets on my site for sale, right? And I thought I want to get a sample, to make sure they look good.
Yeah.
So I asked my grandson, of all the pictures I've painted, which one? I'm going to make a blanket for you. Which one do you want? And that was the one he picked.
Really?
Oh yeah, it makes a great blanket. It's so cute,
I love it. And how old is he?
He's 4.
Oh my goodness! You see, so he sees something in that polar bear that's very calming, and I see the same thing. I'm looking at some of those. Now, our friend here, Danielle, she's a medium and psychic. She's amazing, and she also does a lot of spirit animal reading. So she said something about animal medicine. Did you say? Let me see. Danielle said something about animal medicine. Do you are now? I did see on your website that you also spirituality is something that you infuse into your work as well, and you're inspired by spirituality. So were these animal in any way part of that, or was this a whole different thing?
Well, I think, yeah, I think that all my art is part of that. I think that's where it came from. It was, I studied Dzogchen, but I mean, I was introduced to it by an American teacher, and it was very contemporary teaching. And so that whole thing is the perfection, the great perfection. That's what it means. And through the practice, you stop believing that you're flawed, and through that's what the art. Once I realized that, I didn't have to. I didn't spend any more time on trying to fix somebody that didn't.
Right.
Then I started create. Then the art just came, and I didn't even paint before that. And
Really?
So, yeah, no, yes, really. That's why you didn't know I was an artist, because I didn't know either.
That's like mind blowing.
Yeah, it is. It blows my mind. I'm like, wow.
Because one of the questions I was going to ask you, but now you see you've kind of answered it. I was going to say, were you an artist as a young person? Were you that little kid that was always drawing?
I doodled a lot, but I mean, and
Yeah.
I think these creatures come from those doodles, because they were creatures, but not as perfected as these are, as far, I mean, they were just like, but I always feel like, I started to feel like they were coming from like the underworld or something. I mean, they were coming out to me, and so it was just doodles. And then, oh gosh, about 5 years ago, around 5 years ago, I had moved to a new apartment, and I needed pictures on my walls. I didn't have enough. And so I thought, yeah, I'm just going to draw a picture. I'll just draw, because I wanted to, yeah. So I drew this picture, and I like framed it and put it out, and I thought, wow, I can draw. This
is phenomenal. So, okay, you took the class with this this guru type of person, right? Some kind of, okay. And from that, it's letting go of perfection, right? And that you are perfect and you are not flawed, letting go of flaw. And then from that, it sounds to me like you almost channel this stuff.
Yeah, it does sound like that.
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, the listener. Leo, let's pull up some of this stuff a little bit. So now, not only are these, this stuff is so cool. Not only are these paintings that can be framed on certain websites, but you have mugs, you have blankets, pillows, lamps. I love the lamps. All kinds of
socks.
Yeah, socks.
And frame pictures any way you want it framed, on canvas.
Okay, look at this. All right, so these are blankets you were talking about, pills. I think this
some of these pictures that you're pulling up are, they were posts that I was experimenting, and I would tell the people, as I posted it, these are some ideas that so these aren't really available right now, but there's other similar products that are available. So
now,
look for that exact one. If you ought to have that, let me know. But right now it's not up.
So there's Roberta Tua. Is she your friend? I can't wait to see the blanket.
Oh yeah.
Hi, other Roberta. Love the picture.
On my couch right now.
Okay, and then Bill Goffey has joined us. Rick Sudi Caritas, hello from California. He's going to be on our show in a few weeks. He is a writer, a very funny writer, songwriter, and let me see if anybody else is. Okay, so these are, so the carrot one is the first one. And then did you continue on with different animals, or how did that happen? It's a lot of dinners.
Then I did more of the animals, and I also did the tree. I don't know if you have the
Yeah, I love the tree too. That's
yeah.
really peaceful.
Well, this one, and oh, by the way, the other Roberta is also the grandmother of we have the same name, and we both have the same grandson.
Oh,
So
how great.
yeah, I know he's lucky.
Yeah, he's two Roberta. Oh, so does he have different names for you? Or does
Yes,
he? Oh,
yes.
yeah. It's so
Nana,
cute.
I'm Nana, and she's Nami.
I love it.
So this one, these are, well, you can tell that they're the seasons, but
Yeah.
one actually this I painted one that's very similar a while before this one, and I painted it during the pandemic, and it was like, this is all I need. This is my calendar. You know,
Wow.
it's really, this is it. Yeah, that was the first one I did. It was nothing was going on there for about a year or 2 years or whatever it was. And so I just needed to know, oh, it's spring, it's summer, it's fall, it's winter. Anyway, so that was
Okay.
inspired that way.
All right. So this is now the different size prints that you can order. Roberta, let's start sending people or telling people how they can. Do you prefer the Etsy site, or what do you prefer?
Can you pull up I mean, a lot of these are, I don't know where the photos are coming from. They're older photos, but can you pull up the Etsy site?
So Roberta Pacino Art, which is
No, R Pacino Artworks.
Okay, R Pacino Artworks.
.etsy.com.
.etsy.com. Okay, so that is probably the best. The best.
The best way to go to just click this E up here.
Okay, the E. All
Yeah,
right.
the
So
E.
if you go to rpacino Artworks, that will take you to everything else, right?
No, if you go to rpacino.art, there's all my links. Just
Oh, beautiful.
rpacino.art.
Okay.
And that's where you just were when you clicked onto this. And then if
Okay.
you scroll down, you can see some things.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things that you can click onto. So you have calendar. I mean, you have like I'm trying to look. There's notebooks. There are mugs. There's just so much stuff, and it's just really fun and lighthearted. And yet, like, the more I look at them, especially with the animals, like, it's the way that they're looking. They're so civilized. That's the the juxtaposition, I guess you would say.
Right.
That is so fascinating to me.
Right. And to me, they look like they're not cartoons. I mean, they're the way the animals look, in real life, but they have these clothes on.
Right.
So they wouldn't really wear those clothes, but their expressions are natural. I think somebody told me that there's consciousness or something they saw in that.
Yes.
That's their like pure consciousness. So anyway.
That's what it is. Yeah. I mean, that polar bear with the seal there, that I love. I mean, that is just, and also like then the one with the seagull.
Mm-hmm.
And is the fact that the seagull is not attacking the food, like, because we all know seagulls are like unruly. Anywhere you go, they are unruly. But this one is so calm.
Yeah, that was. I always wonder whose lunch that was.
Yeah.
Like, where did he go? And to me, it was a guy's lunch. I don't know why, but I was like, I don't know. Anyway.
All right. Now we're going in a completely different direction. So talk about this woman power thing.
Okay. Let's see. Okay, just briefly, in 2018, well, I started sketching so it was 2018. Yeah, so maybe 5 or 6 years ago. And one of the first it was during the midterms of 2018 when all the women were winning. Yeah, and you remember? And I started sketching women cradling the light bulbs, walking out of the mountains. And there were, the sketch was really epic. They were coming down the mountain, And I always loved it. And then recently I decided to paint the same theme, which is that these women that are coming out of the mountains carrying, the power, the enlightenment, self-realization.
And what I got from it, that's what I love about art. It's like what I saw was great ideas. Like I thought they're carrying great ideas. I love it.
Yeah. Yes, for sure. The light bulb.
So that's what it was, the 2018. See, that's
yeah. And okay, so what is that? That is just kind of like just letting the process, we were talking about the process of art, just going with the flow of it. and then you start drawing it, or you start painting it, or singing it.
Do you have somewhere in your home that is a designated studio area, or do you just work from like a kitchen table or your bedroom?
It's actually my bedroom, but it's a nice big, desk. Yeah. And I'm doing the biggest one I've done now is 24 by 48. I'm painting one like that now. That's kind of maxed out. So if I want to go bigger, then I've got to take over this room behind me, my living room. I don't know.
Yeah.
or move. But anyway, so
you do have a place that you work from all the time. Do you?
Yeah. It's
you someone that carries a sketchbook with you too, though, in case you have ideas? No,
I'm not that organized. I have a sketchbook here, but I don't, at home. And sometimes I do that. I use it for that, but I don't take it with me.
Yeah, I know there's people that, like, I'm on the subway and I'll see certain artists just pull up their sketch.
Oh, a good idea to do that, though, because sometimes, you do see things and I think, oh, yeah. Naturally, you're going to forget if you don't sketch it in. So.
And then there are others, like my nieces are both very, very artistic. And my older niece said that she can't draw unless she sees a picture of something. Like she can't just from her mind come up with something. She has to see an image and then draw that image and then alter the image. That's her process. That's why I always ask people, and there's just so many ways to look at how an artist, like everybody always says, the thing about being an artist is how you see something, so you see it in your mind but how do you get the eyes? Like I don't know. It's fascinating how you get the eyes.
The painting is happening ahead of me a little bit. You know what I mean? So
yes,
and I get there where it's almost I'm watching it happen.
Wow.
And so I can't. Wherever that is, whatever that is where it's coming from.
Well, to me, that's a channeling. Really, that's what it's like I'm a songwriter, and sometimes I literally, like, the song just writes itself. I'm just literally using my hands to do it, but it's just already written, so I know exactly what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So isn't it?
And
it feels so good.
Yeah, it's a good feeling. So when you see your own art, like I know a lot of people, they don't like, there's certain singers that don't like to hear their own voice. There's certain actors that don't like to watch themselves on screen. And but as an artist, do you like to see, like, let's say you have a display or you had a showing or something. Do you enjoy watching people look at your art?
What I have, what you haven't asked about, and there's a link to it at rpacino.art, is a gallery in the metaverse, and I have an art gallery there where all my pictures, they're huge in this gallery, and you can go to it. You can go through to it with a VR headset, but if you don't have one, you can do it on your phone or you can do it on your computer, and you can walk around my gallery. And
you know what? I think I did do that without the sound. Because you can move it around, right? It moves around. Yes.
And so what happens sometimes, I walk around with me and they talk about my art, and I love that. So because like you were just talking about, I see ideas. I mean, you hear what people see in your art. It's just fantastic. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's just wonderful. It's wonderful to have this this place in wherever the metaverse is, where you can actually do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I feel really fortunate that I learned about it.
Are you someone that do you ever dream something and then draw it? Like, do you have like vivid dreams or anything like that? And then you're like, oh, I had this dream, I have to draw it. Has that ever happened?
Not exactly like that, but I've had like yeah, kind of like a little journeying kind of thing, where there's certain creatures that show up, and then I paint them into my pictures, but
Wow.
not like the whole picture that shows up and I have to draw that. But not in a dream, but
Like in a
sometimes
meditation?
it's almost like a vision or something,
Yeah.
a waking dream, I guess. But I haven't noticed that yet, like waking up and going, oh, I dreamt that I have to paint it. But,
Yeah. Now, Danielle, she's our friend, who's the medium, she says so much art is channeled. So I do believe that. I seriously believe that. Also, Carolyn Montgomery says, hey, just came upon this and so glad to see you. So she is also watching. We get a lot of great people watching. So this is the meta. I think this is what you're talking about, right, Roberta? This gallery.
this is a gallery in Spatial. So it's spatial.io, I think. And you can get the app on your phone.
Yeah.
I don't think there's an app for the computer. I think you just go to the website.
Yeah, but look at how cool this is. I did this. When you move around. This is so cool, and you can actually check it out. It's just really cool. It's kind of like,
you can play the videos. There's some videos in here, and you can play them.
yeah, it's really cool. It's almost like a video game.
A
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, and the pictures are, you see them framed, and
Yeah.
I love to, like, when I paint a new picture, then I'll put it up right away so that I can go in and look at it, and so it's really good for me that way. It's helpful.
So speaking of which, how often do you paint? Is it something that happens once in a blue moon, or
Oh no, I always have a painting going now.
Okay, that's what I was going to ask.
A long time, but I think as I paint more and more, then it's not taking me quite as long to do things that it took me long to do, as long as it took me 5 years ago.
Yeah. Okay. And during the pandemic, you mentioned the pandemic. Did you find that you had? I love the spare so much. I'm going to have to get the spare. Did you find that that during the pandemic you painted more, or how did that affect your art?
That's when I started painting, pretty much.
That's when you started. Okay, so what's 2018? I thought it was 2018.
2018, I started sketching.
Okay. Okay.
And then it was probably 2019 that I took a paint. I didn't know how to paint, and I thought, oh, I want to make my sketches have color. I don't want to just be pencil. So I found a local, at the Parks and Recreation. So it was a woman from India, an art teacher from India. It was so awesome. And she taught me, like, oh, you hold a brush like this. And I didn't know how to paint at all.
Really?
It was in like 2019. Yeah.
What?
And I took her class for a few months. And then I moved out of the area and I moved to Seattle in 2020. And a couple of months later was the pandemic. So I had just learned how to paint. So, and all of a sudden I had all this time. So that's, when I just went after that, I started painting. Really.
It's mind blowing. It's just mind blowing because I mean, people that do that usually have studied their whole lives or start as a child, and then they go to art school. I mean, my niece went to art school. It's like, Yeah.
I know. I mean, I imagine if I would have gone to art school and I would have been painting my whole life, it would be different now. But
yeah. Did you do this, or is this like an avatar type thing?
This is a photograph of me with AI effects. I guess AI did this job on it.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah, I think it kind of looks like me. But I was showing it to my grandson today, and he goes, "Yeah, except for the glasses are different." And he goes, "And the face is different."
Kids are so funny. Is your grandson artistic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he is. And he's going to help me a little bit with the painting I'm working on now. There's a couple of parts he wants to paint. I'm like, how can I let him do that and not be like a nervous wreck?
Yeah.
So I've been
Because-
figuring it out.
Well, maybe you can have him do a separate thing that you would add to it. You know what I mean? Like sometimes with little.
Block it off. I think with paper and just
Yeah.
the area that he wants to paint, and then have paper over the rest of the painting so he can't drip anything on it. I think.
Yeah, I mean I know. I'd be holding my breath too. I understand. Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe by the time it gets to that, we're not close to that.
Because I know, like, I love to cook, and my nieces, when they were little, they wanted to cook, especially the little one. Now she's 25, but she loved to cook. And so we put her on like a little stool, and she always wanted to be part of it. But, so, and she was great, but, you have to be careful with kids and things like that.
Yeah. So, so
let's bring up oh, wait a minute. Who has joined us? Catherine Salvio. Let's bring up
hey.
Oh, wait a minute. I wanted to surprise you, Roberta. Hi, Kat. How you doing?
I can't believe you didn't mention the meatballs and spaghetti.
Oh yeah, we were talking about. We're getting a little bit of.
Yeah.
You have headphones, Kat? Okay. Maybe she'll put on her headphones. That's what we were talking about earlier with the headphones. I think if it's more than one person without headphones.
Okay, because we don't have that problem. So
yeah. So the meatballs. That's right. We didn't even talk about the
meatballs.
I
can talk about meatballs.
Yes, please. So go ahead and talk about the meatballs.
These are my father's meatballs because that's how that's what the meatballs look like. Did they look like that, Kathy, when your mom cooked?
That's my favorite. I have that mug. I love those meatballs and spaghetti.
I know. We do too.
But also,
first of all, you look great. I love your hair like that. It's so beautiful.
The silver hair?
Yeah, I love it.
Or whatever color. Thank you. It took forever to let it grow out. So now, I hesitate to do anything to it.
Yeah, no. Oh, there it is. Okay, so the meatballs. Is that a puzzle, Roberta?
That's a puzzle. Yes.
Wow.
How are you getting these things manufactured? I don't understand. Well, this product, you don't have a garage that you have it in.
No, I don't. I can't paint and make puzzles and aprons too.
No, but there's sites that do that for you, right?
Yeah, there's people, businesses that do this.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
It's so cool. I love everybody is going to love the spaghetti and meatballs. I mean, every Italian I know, at least every Italian I know.
My point is, I was trying to make about the meatballs. I think these are Sicilian meatballs.
Because they're bigger?
Bigger. That's the thing. Yeah.
Well, I make meatballs, and my meatballs are pretty big, and we're not Sicilian, we're all Viennese, but you're right. Every meatball I've ever had is different. Every Italian cook has a signature. Like there's just a different taste to everybody's meatballs.
Because I'm in the metaverse, people come from all over the world and come to my gallery. So I have Italians that come to my gallery. So I had this one Italian man comes in, he goes, "Oh, we don't make meatballs like that." I go, "What do you mean? That's how my father made meatballs." He goes, "No, we just make the meat sauce, But then
no, that's not true.
And there's all kinds of pictures of these great big meatballs and the Sicilians. So
I love it. So maybe that was is your dad Sicilian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And her mother was Sicilian also. Hi, Leo.
Hello, my love.
Is
this conversation about me? I heard somebody call on meatballs.
So now Roberta, Leo, and Catherine. I directed a show a couple years ago, a cabaret show, and Catherine and Leo were in it because it was part of a class, and that's how they met originally. Now they're great friends.
Yeah, I miss.
That's right.
We did a couple of duets.
You know what? I texted Catherine before the show. I said, "Hey, how'd you like to come on and surprise Roberta?" And then I was texting Leo. Leo, make sure you send the link to And Leo had just texted me right before that. Did you? Should I send it to Salvio or do you want to? This is so we both thinking about you.
Mhm.
Well, I have to tell a nice story about when Roberta and I were roommates on West 73rd Street between Columbus and Amsterdam.
Oh,
right?
is this family rated?
It's family.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were roommates in a 5th floor walk up, a 1-bedroom, and we made it. The living room became a bedroom, and we both shared this apartment. She decided she wanted to come back to New York after all those years living in California. So her and I, I said, sure, come on. We got the apartment. The apartment was $265 at the time.
Wow.
That was too much.
$265. It was a 5th floor walk up. But okay, so it was great. It had a nice big balcony. You remember, Roberta?
Oh yeah.
You go right out on the balcony.
It was like, I think, bigger than the apartment, or almost.
It was on top of the bedroom down below us. So her and I are walking. At that time, that area, 72nd Street and Broadway, was Needle Park. It really was Needle Park. Junkies were all over the place and hanging out right by that subway station on 72nd Street. You know what I mean, right, Marie? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So who's all of a sudden coming up the street? Do you remember this day, Roberta?
No, absolutely.
Story?
What?
You want to finish the story?
Well, I'll share it with you.
Go ahead.
We were in the park, and Al, my brother Al, walks in. He walks through the park. He was doing Panic in Needle Park. He was doing the film. The film had just been released, and you could look up on the marquee that you could see from the movie theater from the park. Remember that? And it was playing there. Then he's walking through the park. I mean, it was like surreal. It was amazing.
Yeah, so it looks like, I didn't remember that he was doing Needle Park. You mean it just had opened? He wasn't filming.
It was on the
he had the same clothes on. It was.
He had the clothes from the wardrobe, I'm sure. He just wore his clothes for the movie.
So then we proceed to go get Almondine white wine, and at the time I was drinking, and he came up to the apartment, and I remember sitting cross-legged on the floor on a pillow or something. Go ahead, finish. What do you remember?
No, you finish it. You finish.
Okay. And he was drinking, and he was starting to get a little loopy, and I guess we were too. And he said, "Girls, I just made a movie that's going to change my life," and it was The Godfather.
Unbelievable.
We didn't know it was The Godfather at the time, but we've realized it later when his life changed, right?
Yeah,
life's changed.
yeah.
But that's it. What a moment. You don't forget stuff like that. You
Yeah,
don't
yeah. Sitting there with Al in that apartment. I didn't remember that it was white wine, though. I always remember it's red.
But see, you remember where you were, and I love the details of that apartment that you remember that you shared. Like, why I love
that
that.
Was my very first apartment in New York that was actually in my name.
And what year was that? 86, you said?
No, 73rd between Columbus and right around the Dakota, right near the Dakota.
Yeah, but what year? What year was that?
What year was that, Roberta?
Oh, about the same as the street, I think.
The 70s?
No, it had to be, let me see. Yeah, late 60s.
No, it was the 70s, you're right.
Early 70s.
Yeah, 70s, because Godfather was in the 70s, right?
Right.
Yeah.
65.
Yeah.
I can't get over that.
Isn't that a funny story?
Yeah, that's a great story.
Then something happened, and I gave up that apartment, and Roberta and I lived in the attic of my mother's and father's house.
Really?
Those were memories that will never.
Yeah.
Did you two used to get in trouble together? Because that's what I'm picking up.
I never got caught.
You never got caught. I love that. That's the way to do it. Okay, listen, we're going to do the food section of our show. So both of you had, since we were talking about meatballs, I didn't make meatballs for the show, but I did make meatballs today, though. But, okay, so what did I cook? Because I'm still on the keto.
Maria, when you come to see me, bring some of your meatballs.
I will. I promise. All right, so what did I make today? Today I made salmon. This is a nice grilled salmon with mushrooms and broccoli, and I marinated this salmon in a blood orange olive oil and some sherry, some garlic, sesame seeds, poppy seeds, and shallots. So I marinated it in that for a couple of hours, and then I just like pan seared it, and it caramelized on its own with the shallot. So that came out really nice. And the
Right.
mushroom, yeah, because I'm
Very
still on the
healthy.
keto, so I'm trying.
Uh-huh. Me too, Maria.
But I
Oh,
love
yeah.
to I know it's hard, but I'm gonna go off it for Thanksgiving. So that's why I had to usually I give myself like an out, like somewhere there's an exit where I can go crazy. And Thanksgiving is my exit. So but that's my keto meal. Here's my salad. And
What kind of dressing do you put on it? Oh, you could have oil. Oh, that's right.
yeah,
I'm
you can have oil and vinegar, which is so
Yeah.
great. Oh, but you can also have blue cheese on the keto. Okay, so I have romaine plus this lettuce that I love called Sunny Crunch, and you can only get it usually at Whole Foods, but it's almost like escarole, but it's crunchy. It's delicious. So little baby cucumbers, baby orange and red peppers, dill, and I put this cheese on it that I found at Trader Joe's called Campbellooza, which is half blue cheese, half brie, which are my two favorite cheeses.
Oh.
And sliced almonds. I put some sliced almonds on there. I don't know if you can see it. You
There
can
you
have
go.
a lot of salads on keto. So I'm gonna put a little blackberry ginger,
Ooh.
balsamic vinegar. I know Leo, and then like a sesame flavored olive oil. I love flavored
Ooh.
olive oils and that. And my favorite company to order from is the New England Olive Oil Company, and they do ship, but they're in New England. And I always say this: nobody pays me to promote anything. I promote what I love. So they didn't send me any special. I just love to promote good companies. And for dessert, the problem with keto is there's not a lot of dessert options. So I'm just having strawberries. You can, and I'm going to put some whipped cream on that. Now, since we were talking about small businesses, it is Small Business Saturday next Saturday. You don't have to wait for that to go to Roberta's website and order some of her beautiful, beautiful merchandise. But just keep in mind that that small businesses are run by usually one or two people that make everything, and their heart and soul is poured into that. So when you order something from a small business, you're doing something really great. And these are unique gifts that you can give. So please go and check out rpacino.art. And if you go to the Etsy store, /Etsy, which it's all on her website, and you can check everything out. I am in love with that polar bear, so I'm going to be getting something polar bear. I don't know what it is, but I just love it. Okay, so Leo has added that. And Keith Torgan has joined us. Keith Torgan is a friend of mine, is a songwriter, also a great artist. And he just did a show with his beautiful wife. So we say hello to Keith Torgan. Now, Roberta, let me see, we have a few minutes left. As I told you before, this is a show about creative people, their process, and we love to inspire other creative people. So what would you like to leave people with that are maybe they have some kind of a block, or they're struggling right now with their creativity, or they want to be inspired? What would you leave them with? Some kind of words of inspiration from one creative person to another.
Well, I would say to just do it, to just, don't wait for the perfect moment. Just if you want to paint, just pick up the paintbrush and start painting. Start looking into maybe taking a class or going on YouTube. It can really, you don't know what you can do unless you do it. And so do it. That's what I would say, I mean, having seen my brother, for instance, become so famous, and he just, nobody helped him. He came from poverty, really. And I know that it can happen. I mean, you can become a massive success, or, any kind of success. And I believe it. So when people tell me, I want to be this or I want to be that. I never ever would discourage anybody because I know it happens and you can do it. So I'd say do it. Believe in yourself. I believe in you.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And it sounds also to me like you are a very centered person. Like you've spent time trying to make, see the world differently, and like with your spiritual practices and things like that. I mean, we all have our own ways of finding that, whatever it is. And I find that helps tremendously. Like if to zone in to certain things, and like Danielle was saying, and I was saying, like the channeling that happens with any of our art,
Mhm.
and when we do that, we feel good and other people feel good and people enjoy. And you don't have to be someone that does it professionally, like Catherine, when you took that class with Leo, like we had such a great experience, like almost everybody in the class were people that did not do it professionally but love to perform,
Right.
so it's not just about making money, it's also about doing your art, whatever you love to do, you know
That's right.
okay, so we
Right.
are
I just have a plug for a really good charity.
yes.
It's called littlebirthdayangels.org.
And
And
what's that?
we just had a ribbon cutting this evening. It's a charity down here in my town that gives birthday gifts, big duffel bags filled with like $200 worth of clothes and blankets and toys and things for children, homeless children.
Oh,
And
that's wonderful.
yeah, it's a great charity, and I just wanted to mention it right before Thanksgiving. We're so blessed to have everything we have, and you think about one child was just stared at the cake and didn't want to cut it because he had
Oh,
cake before, or his name on the cake meant so much to him. So I just wanted to mention littlebirthday.angels.org and encourage everybody to try to. Yeah, thank you.
oh, that's beautiful. I love that.
Yes, so I've been working with them for a couple of events down here. My agency is very much into all sorts of charity things. It's great.
And Kat, do you want to talk about the name of your agency? Because you are a real estate agent.
Remax Crown Realty in Vero Beach, Florida.
And so if you are in the Vero Beach area, you want to look at some properties, Catherine Salvio is your girl, Salvio. And you should go and check out Vero Beach. I know our friend Al Lambert was just down there.
I know.
performing.
And he has such a beautiful voice, Maria.
Oh, he really does. He's been singing since he's 16. And he's
I know, he was so great. He reminds me of the old time singers, the way
Yeah.
he enunciates everything that he sings, very.
Yeah, he's a crooner. I would put him in the
Right.
crooner category.
I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving.
Catherine,
Yeah,
your sales partner is relaxing over there.
On your success with your art. I think it's fabulous.
Thank you
Catherine,
for
what's up with your sales partner over there? Your sales
Actually,
partner.
I'm surprised. I didn't expect this.
I know.
I know.
She let me know before the show she asked me if I wanted to come on. I said, sure, it sounds like fun.
I just thought it would be cute just to surprise you,
It's so good.
And I know you girls will Catherine always has these great stories about you being roommates and things like that. So, and yes, did you hear what Leo said about your business partners? That's Coco. Coco's behind you sleeping.
Oh yeah, yes.
Well,
Coco.
Rizzo's around here somewhere too.
I know for a
too.
fact that if you're buying a house in Vero Beach from Kathy, it's Coco that does the work.
Yeah. Well, Roberta, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to come on. We really appreciate it. And keep doing what you're doing because you do beautiful work. Everybody go and check out Roberta's artwork at Art Pacino Arts. There it is again, artpacino.art.
And then all the links to everything's there.
Which is really smart. Very smart, Roberta.
And Roberta, next time you talk to Al, tell him his belly dancer says hello. He'll remember what that means.
Are we out of time? I really wanted to hear that story.
Well, I was lucky enough to be in a wonderful film that Al directed called Chinese Coffee. And the audition was for a belly dancer, and I am not a dancer at all. And the agents, whoever sent me out, I can't remember, but they said, no, they're not looking for a real dancer. They're looking for like kind of a comedian. So I went and auditioned, and anyway, I got it. And all my friends that are real dancers were so mad at me. They were like, how did you get that? You can't dance. I said, well, that's exactly what they're looking for. So the scene was me and Jerry Orbach, and I was supposed to be really bad, like a really bad belly dancer. And so that's what the scene is. I'm a bad belly dancer. Finally, Jerry Orbach says, oh my God, he's a photographer. He says, put your clothes on. You're awful. Like, get out of here. So it's really funny. But the best part was that, because Al was directing it, so he was in the other room, and for me as an actor, hearing Al laugh at everything I did was so great. It was like, oh my God, like he loved it, because we watched the dailies together afterwards, and he laughed, and it was so great. He just made me feel so special. Like when I walked in with the belly dancer outfit, which is comical if you know me, because I'm so not that person. And he said, look at my beautiful belly dancer. He made me feel so special. And then when we broke for lunch, he said, you can have anything you want in the world. I will order anything you want, my beautiful belly dancer. So it was just great. He was so sweet to me. And then when we went to see, Catherine and I and Judy went to see China Doll, remember, on Broadway? I brought him a picture. And I saved it. And I brought him a picture of us. It was me, Al, and Jerry Orbach, and I gave him one, and he was so sweet. So that's us. That's when we filmed Chinese Coffee. That was just a beautiful moment. But what I loved about the experience was that, here's this big actor director, and he was just down to earth, lovely, sweet, and made me feel like I was the queen of the world. And it was just, I'll never forget it. So please tell him his belly dancer says hello. That was a nice experience for me. So everybody go and check out Roberta's website, please, and let us know what you ordered. Take a picture of it. If you get something from Roberta, take a picture of you with it, and we'll put it on our What's the Story with Maria page. Okay?
Yeah.
So Catherine, thank you. Leo, I love you.
Mwah.
Thank you so much.
Roberta, thank you so much. We appreciate you and we love you, and we'll see you next week. Take
Roberta,
care.
come on up to Idyllwild.
What?
Come on up to Idyllwild.